Representative of Israel.
Mr. President, this session was convened to discuss sanctions. So let's talk about sanctions. Let us talk about what happens when the world fails to impose them. Let us talk about how the United Nations and much of the international community abandoned their responsibility to confront evil. Plainly, let's talk about Iran. For years, the Islamic Republic of Iran has waged relentless war against the stability of the Middle East. It has armed, trained, and financed terrorist groups across the region. It has called openly and repeatedly for the extermination of the State of Israel. But this was not just talk. For almost 5 decades, it built the infrastructure to exterminate us. It dedicated billions of dollars and countless hours to building nuclear weapons. But the world did nothing. Instead of imposing crushing sanctions, the UN gave Iran platforms. Instead of condemnation, Iran was met with appeasement. And now we are experiencing the consequences of that weakness. In the past days, Iran has launched hundreds of ballistic missiles directly at Israeli cities. Not military bases, cities, homes, schools, synagogues, churches, mosques. Over 1,000 projectiles have been launched at our people so far. Missiles rained down on Haifa, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. 23 civilians are dead, over 600 are injured. Iran has also unleashed waves of drones and UAVs programmed to hit civilian targets. In one strike, an entire Arab Christian family in northern Israel was murdered. Iran doesn't care who it kills, Jew, Christian, Muslim. It makes no difference. The only thing that matters to the Ayatollahs is spilling blood. This was not about retaliation. This was not about borders. It was the execution of a genocidal ideology. Iran's goal is extermination. It always has been. They have told us this over and over. And when they speak, we listen. We believe them. We believe them when they chant, "Death to Israel, death to America." We believe them when they call us a cancer, when they call for our heads. But the world shrugged these threats off while we had to face them. I want to ask you today, what if these missiles had carried nuclear warheads? That is not a theoretical question. Iran has spent decades moving toward nuclear breakout. So make no mistake, if the Ayatollah regime had the capability, it would have used it by now. They have said so themselves, over and over. It is only because of the courage and precision of the Israeli Defense Forces that this nightmare was stopped from becoming something worse. Operation Rising Lion, launched by Israel just days ago, was an act of necessity and survival. A necessary, targeted, preemptive strike to dismantle Iran's nuclear infrastructure, eliminate its top military planners, and destroy key ballistic missile and UAV sites. Every one of our targets was chosen with care. There were nuclear facilities, missile depots, and senior IRGC officials. Not civilians, not homes, not places of worship. We struck the war machine not the people oppressed by the war machine. This is a moral distinction that defines us. We target the regime's terror machine. Iran targets families and children in residential areas. Colleagues, let there be no confusion about what Iran was preparing. They were mapping out a campaign of extermination to, in their words, and I quote, wipe Israel off the map and drive the Jewish people into the sea. In the weeks before our strike, our intelligence made one thing crystal clear. Iran was coordinating with Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and militias in Syria and Iraq. Together, they were drawing up a plan for a regional war. This was going to be a strategy for our total eradication. We were on the brink of a full-scale invasion, surrounded on all sides and targeted from the skies. We saw what happened in the past. We had already seen on October 7 what they were capable of with far less, not with ballistic missiles. We were never going to wait for the slaughter to begin. We stopped it before it could. So Israel acted, we did what the world refused to do, and we did it alone. But while our fight is with the regime in Tehran, it is not with the people it oppresses. Mr. President, I have an important message for the people of Iran. Mardume Iran, Mubarazema Zada Shumanist, Balkazeda Rajimiast, Kabeshuma Zolam Mikoned. People of Iran, our fight is not against you. Rather, it is against the regime that oppresses you. We fight the same regime that murders your daughters for demanding freedom. The same regime that suppresses your voices, poisons your rivers, burns your votes, and sends your sons to die for its delusions. We know the truth. You are not our enemies. You are the first and most tragic victims of the Ayatollahs. We have seen your courage, the women tearing off their forced veils, the students defying the morality police, the protesters who cry for dignity. We have heard your voices, even when your government tries to silence them. Israel does not seek conflict with the Iranian people. We pray for your freedom and we pray for your future. We dream of a day when Iranian children and Israeli children laugh and play chess together, when our nations are joined in the new Middle East, rooted in progress, respect, and life. But that future cannot be realized while the current regime remains committed to death. So we will continue to act, and we will do what is necessary, because we will not allow an even worse October 7 to unfold before our eyes. Mr. President, before I conclude, Iran is not just Israel's problem. It is a global problem. It is the largest sponsor of terror on earth. It is racing toward nuclear weapons, and it is openly declaring its intention to use them. The failure to impose meaningful sanctions on the Iranian regime is complicity. Every moment that passes without consequences only emboldens the Ayatollahs and endangers the world. If there was ever a regime that deserves crushing and comprehensive sanctions, it is this one. If there was ever a time to act, that time is now. It is regrettable that some of the world's worst human rights violators are now trying to discredit sanctions altogether, using this hall and this debate to deflect from their own crimes. They ignore the real reason these measures were imposed in the first place: repression, terror, and chaos. The international community must find its backbone. It must use every diplomatic, political, and economical tool at its disposal. It must sanction Iran now. The longer you wait, the greater the calamity. We are not going anywhere. Israel will carry on. We will defend our people, and we will defeat all those who seek our destruction. Thank you, Mr. President.